Squarespace released their newest feature, courses, and I am so thrilled by it. So let's not waste any time and get straight into how to use it in this beginner's tutorial. Now, creating a course is one thing, but figuring out if it will sell is quite another. Wondering if your course idea has six-figure potential? Click above or below or head to pbcourses.com/potential directly, and I'll let you know if you're onto a six-figure course idea or not. Okay, firstly, let's start off with a question which I know is going to come, and that is, can I create a course on any Squarespace template? Yes, you can create a course on any Squarespace template in Squarespace 7.1. If you're on a very, very old version of Squarespace started years ago, then you won't be able to use this feature. But if you're started a website within the past, like let's say 2 years, you're gonna be on Squarespace 7.1, and yes, you can choose any template. So I'm just gonna pick a random one to start with. And from here, let's create a course. So I'm gonna go under the website tab, and then I will add my course. Let's put it down in my not linked section for now. That means it exists on the website, but it's just not in my top navigation for right now. So I'm gonna click the plus button, and I'm gonna select the new courses option. Now, there are two sort of example demo layouts. I'm gonna go with this one. Let's go for this one for right now. And we will see my course on bread making that's the example demo content, has been created. So I'm going to agree with that. And this brings you to the new courses panel. So how exactly would we create our content inside of this course? So we would click on the area course content with the arrow here, and that will bring up our lessons. So if I click into one of these, we can see the example demo that exists right now. They have a little video, a little bit of information below, potentially some downloads, some photos, and then we can complete and continue. So let's go ahead and add our own lesson. So we have introduction, process, baking. Let's add some content. So we have chapters and lessons. Chapters is when, think of it sort of like modules. So you have like an overarching theme and then a bunch of smaller lessons within the chapter. It sort of holds those smaller lessons. So let's continue with the theme of bread making. And maybe the next thing I want to do is like presentation of my bread. Save, that's the chapter. So I've clicked add. I've added a chapter, and now let's add some content to this. So that's the chapter is really just like the section. And now here we are. So let's do decorating your bread. The excerpt is a short description of what exactly is in this content. I honestly find personally when I'm creating courses, I mostly just do the title. I don't find that like a big long description of what's happening there is all that necessary. People tend to really just like skim the text and go straight to the video. So I'm actually gonna leave that bit blank. The custom URL, what they have here is actually totally fine. When it comes to your courses, oftentimes this is going to be behind a paywall. So that means that only people who have paid for this can really access it. So having super SEO friendly URL slugs isn't all that important, seeing that we don't really actually want this to appear in Google. Granted, you can actually create a free course inside of the Squarespace courses feature, and therefore maybe in that case you would want to tweak this URL to be super SEO friendly. But otherwise, if you're going to do, as I think most of you probably are, a course which is paid for, then changing up this URL slug for SEO purposes really isn't that important, as it'll be behind a paywall and only people who have paid can see it then. Okay, next we get to the thumbnail. So that's just a little preview image for this sort of lesson. So you can optionally show these or hide these or have these or not have these. I'm going to upload a picture. Let's see. Here is a lovely photo. Okay, so I have my basics for the lesson down. Next, let's go to the video section. So the assumption and what most courses are built off of these days is video. So what we would do is we can go ahead and click the plus button and add our video. You can either choose to upload your own video, so that's you've recorded it, you've saved it to your desktop, and then you select to upload the video. Or alternatively, you can add it from a link. So say, for example, if you've uploaded your videos onto YouTube or Vimeo, for example, you can kind of pull them in here. And the way you do that is you set them to be like unlisted on YouTube or Vimeo so that no one publicly can find them, except you've then pulled them into your course, let's say. And so they are hosting the video as opposed to it being hosted inside of Squarespace. Okay, so for example purposes here, I'm just going to insert a link to one of my previous YouTube videos to add that. And then we can go over to status. So automatically anything you create here will be in draft status. If you want this to be published, you want all of the content to be live, for example, you would change it to published. You can also set a certain date for it to be published. You also have the option of scheduling, so that's basically setting a certain day and time for this content to be made public. So if you want to, say, drip your course content where you want every week for 8 weeks, for example, on Monday at the 28th, starting the 28th, and then every single week after that, new content becomes live, you can set each specific video to go live at certain dates and times, and therefore you don't need to be sitting at your computer to manually change over things to get it to publish at the time that you want that content to drip. So for this example, however, I'm just going to set it to be published and save. Now you'll notice the one downside to linking to your video as opposed to uploading your video is that when you link to it, we get sort of the not so pretty looking bits and pieces from YouTube overlaid, which doesn't look as great as when we go into, say, the ones which were uploaded natively inside of Squarespace. It looks a lot more beautiful, which is kind of the really big selling point of Squarespace. So uploading versus linking does have some benefits. Now, what if you want to add other content to your course other than just this one specific video? Maybe you have a PDF you want them to download, or you want a little bit of an explainer or some text in there as well. How do we do that? We would click on the edit button in the top left, and then we could add a section. I'm going to go for a blank section. And then you'll notice that when I click add block, we have all of the same block options that you would have anywhere else in the Squarespace platform. So you can add whatever your little heart desires to this lesson inside of your course. So text, buttons, more videos, galleries, images, forms, accordions, it's all there. So if you are new to Squarespace and you're not so familiar with all of these block options yet, I do have a Squarespace beginners tutorial that I will link you to, sort of the more general aspects of the platform and how to use these different blocks and rearrange things on the page and everything. I would definitely suggest, if you're unfamiliar with that, go watch that video and then come back to this one. So let's say, for example, there has been an update to this section of the course. I could just add a text block, write update. And if you wanted to do something like adding a downloadable to that section, then it'd be really great if you maybe added a button and wrote, let's say we're going to click on the edit and typed in download the workbook. In order to get my button to look a little bit better, I'm actually going to click on the button, drag it out to the side here so that the text doesn't wrap in the button there. Now you can add as many sections down this page as you really want to. You can add a ton of content. So there's really a lot that can be done in terms of what content goes into your online course. Now, if you're curious to see what exactly the course looks like from your student's perspective, you can click the arrow in the top right-hand side here, and you'll see this is sort of the preview of what it looks like from your student's perspective. The other really lovely feature I find is over here in the left-hand side. If I click here, I can see both my progress bar as I click, or as a student clicks complete and continue. These little areas will fill in. And I can see, for example, I've done that lesson, I'm now on to this lesson. And so as we see, we can sort of, as time goes on, you have more content in here. You could scroll down here on the left-hand side and see exactly how much content is to come, what the titles of the things are. This is the thumbnail image, which I had uploaded, is there on the left-hand side, and all the different bits and pieces to the content, and again, the progress that your student is making through the course. Let's also quickly discuss the pricing plans for Squarespace courses. So it's called the Digital Products Add-on. So when you have a Squarespace site, you pay for the add-on, and then you can get courses on your website. Now, you'll see all of the different plans have unlimited courses, memberships, students, all of the things, insights. It's all very similar. The only difference really is the amount of video storage and the transaction fees. So I do believe that the video storage only applies to videos which you upload onto Squarespace. If, however, you just link to your videos, which are, say, living on Vimeo or YouTube, then that doesn't count towards your video storage limit. The other difference is the transaction fee. So what I love about what they've done here is, because I know when I created my first course, committing to something for like $100 a month was very scary. And so I love that they've actually started off with plans which are super affordable. The starter plan is $9 a month. The difference is that you will have a transaction fee. So that means that when someone buys your course, 7% of your course price will then go towards Squarespace, and you will get the remaining percentage of the course income. So then the question really becomes, when do I switch over, and when is it worth me going for, say, the professional plan, which has 0% transaction fees, versus, say, one of the starter plans? The difference between $9 a month and $119 a month is $110 a month. So basically, your course needs to be making at least $1,570 per month in order for it to be worth it for you to be spending basically the extra $110 to get to the professional plan. So again, do feel free, start off at whatever level you want to. If you already know that this course is going to be a smashing success out the gate, then you can go straight for the professional plan right away. Alternatively, if you're not so confident, you just want to test it first, you can go for the starter plan for $9 a month. You can deal with the 7% transaction fee for now. And once you get your course to the point where it's making over like $1,600 a month, that is when it would be worth your while, and you'd actually be paying less overall if you switch over to the professional plan with 0% transaction fees. Next, let's talk about the course overview page. So this one, I have to be honest, is not my favorite thing that Squarespace has created, but let me try to explain it to you. So this is basically when someone purchases your course, they will come into this page and it will give them sort of like the rough overview of all the content there. And then they can click in to start on a specific section. They can jump forward if they want to jump forward, or they can, click in to just get started wherever they were before. The course overview page, I have to say, Squarespace, if you're watching this, I know you watch my videos sometimes, my request would be this. This isn't to be used as a sales page. I will show you what to do for sales pages in a second. So the course overview doesn't really have the purpose of a sales page. It does have this lovely section here, which details all of the content of the courses. I would love for this section here to be able to be pulled onto a sales page. So basically have a block for this that can be added to another page, because you can't really use this page as a sales page. And I'll show you more details on sales pages in a second, and the sort of flow that your customer would go through from on your sales page to actually coming into the course overview page to going into the course content itself. So the course overview page, this page honestly isn't that important. It just is sort of like this landing page. Someone gets to it. It has the details of the content. You can tweak it like you can tweak any page in Squarespace. So these bits down here, what you'll learn, instructors, you can change that content just like you would change any blocks on Squarespace. This bit here, this is the thing that comes like automatic on the course overview page. But again, this section here unfortunately can't be pulled onto another page yet, though that could change in the future. Next, let's talk about pricing your course. So in order to have your people pay for your course, we need to go into the pricing plan section. So I'm going to create a pricing plan, and then I'm going to scroll down to the pricing section. So we can decide exactly how much this costs. So we can decide, is it one payment? Is it multiple payments? Is it a subscription, or is it for free? So let me explain the different options. One payment is pretty obvious. They pay one time to purchase access to the course. Now we also have the option for payment plan. So let's say you wanted to do either they could buy it for $100. Actually, no, let's go for $1,000. So either they can buy it for $1,000, or they could do 4 payments of $300, for example. So that would mean 4 payments of $300 would be that they get charged once a month, $300 for 4 months. So they basically split the course of the cost over 4 months as opposed to paying for it all at once. Now that is different to a subscription. So this right here, 4 payments, is what we call a payment plan. A subscription is different in that it just charges them every single month for an unlimited amount of time until they decide to cancel. That's the difference. So maybe it would be $15, repeats every month, just to infinity until they decide, you know what, I no longer want this subscription. So that's what's different between a payment plan and a subscription. Payment plan is they just pay for the number of months to pay off the total cost of the course. Subscription is that it pays continuously until they decide to end it, basically. And then free allows your course to be free, but granted, if you're a course creator, it takes a lot of work to create these things. I would definitely recommend you do a paid program. Now, the other thing which I love about what Squarespace did here was they have included products. So basically what this gives you the ability to do as a course creator is to create bundles or special promos. So for example, when I run a course sale, I like to, for 3 days only, add on 5 extra bonuses, for example. So what I can do is I can, back in my Squarespace panel, I can create more digital products, and I go and click to add those digital products. Now I actually need to create some in order to add this, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I've quickly gone ahead and created another course, which is called Bonus Selling Your Bread at Markets 101. So now I have a second digital product inside of my Squarespace site. I can then add that as a bonus to that original course. So I'm gonna go into pricing plans, then I'm gonna go into edit. And then when I come down here, you'll notice this area isn't grayed out anymore. I can click the plus button and I can select from the other digital products on my website. So now that the bonus Selling Your Bread at Markets 101 exists on my website, I can select it to add it. In order for me as the course creator to understand these things, it's really important that I name this specifically so I remember. So let's say I'm gonna name this plus bonus August 2023. So there we are. You could add multiple different digital products. You could add unlimited number, I don't think there's a limit on it, of extra things to this. So if you want 5 extra bonuses or something, you can do that. But do be sure to name this something or like plus 5 bonuses, for example, so that you know in the back end what these different pricing plans are for. Okay, so we have the title, which makes sense. It's clear to us what it is and what's included here. That's great for this pricing plan. Then let's go to sign up limits. So this is optional. If you want, however, as a course creator, it's very common to do like, you can only enroll between this day and this day, then we can set that up here. So we're going to enable that, and let's maybe set it up that we want our enrollment to go for 1 week straight. We would then have the ability to have someone only able to purchase and enroll during the set dates. So that's good. I'm going to click save. And now we do have the option to make multiple different pricing plans. And the reason that this is important is because, say for example, for 2 days only, you do the bread making course plus 5 bonuses, but then, I don't know, you want to create a new bunch of bonuses and you want to do 10 bonuses next time, for example. So then we could create a new pricing plan and we would do the bread making course plus 10 bonuses. Ooh. And then we would go down, and again, we could set our payment options the same way we did before. We can decide if it's a subscription, a one-time payment, a payment plan, or free. We could again add all the digital products. So now we'd be adding 10 different extra additional products to this original course. And again, we could set certain limits on it if we wanted to. So I'm going to create that one. And again, that's why it's so key is over time, you're probably going to get a lot of pricing options in here as you do different bonuses and promos over time. So it's really key that you name these things clearly for yourself. Now, of course, when it comes to deciding what to price your course at and try to figure out, okay, if it's going to take me, say, 3 months to build this online course, and I'm going to lose out on a bunch of, say, client revenue in those 3 months, you really need to figure out, does my course actually have the potential to sell? And lucky for you, I created a quiz on, does my course have 6-figure potential? I will link above and below where you can go and try that quiz. It is at pbcourses.com/potential. You can see if your course has 6-figure potential, and that will help you a long way to figuring out how much should I actually price this course at. Okay, next, speaking of sales, let's talk about sales pages. Okay, so down here in the not link section, we are going to create a new page, and this is going to be our sales page. Note that it's not sort of living within the section of the course. It's actually separate. It's a little confusing, but it's okay. So we're gonna go to the plus button in our not link section to add a sales page. Actually, you know what? Let's put this in our main navigation because we want people to see our sales page. So I'm gonna click the plus button. I'm gonna go to page layouts because they've just added something lovely, and that is a digital product sort of demo page, which this just is sort of like a starter for a sales page pretty much. So I'm gonna click on this example layout, and we're gonna call it, and now you'll notice because I added this page to my main navigation, it is appearing up here, whereas everything in my not link section exists on the website, but it's not necessarily in this top navigation. So on this page, I'm going to click per usual to edit. And the thing which you will notice here is that we have a digital product block. Now this is new with the courses feature, and it's really key because this is the aspect which will link up your course to the actual checkout, to the actual getting into the course content aspect. So if we click on our digital product block and click on edit, We then need to choose a pricing plan. So we will now see the different pricing plans which I just created. So basically I'm linking this digital product block to the digital product within Squarespace and telling it like, hey, if they click on sign up, get them to buy this specific digital product. So I'm gonna go for the bread making and 5 bonuses. And you'll notice that for that specific one, I had set up 2 different payment options. So 1 payment or 4 payments, so the payment plan option. And all of the details being pulled into this digital product block came from, let me go back and show you, came from the pricing plan. So anything which you want to appear here, you'll notice, say, for example, like 20 hours of video content, unlimited lifetime access. Where you find that information is in the pricing plans, 5 bonuses, and you'll notice here. So we could add a benefit. There we are, one darn good looking instructor. It's probably inappropriate, but let's go with it. And then you'll notice on my sales page that item has been added to the list of benefits. So again, anything which you want to appear here in the digital product block, you actually want to edit that within the pricing plan section. Now, everything else on the page, however, we can click on the edit button. And this is, again, like Squarespace, per usual, adding text blocks and image blocks and shape blocks and sections to get all of the content to appear. And again, if you need more help on learning how to do those things, beginner's tutorial on Squarespace, I'll link it above for you again. Now we do have some options within the digital product block in terms of design, so we can actually turn on and off different elements here. So say if we don't want that list of benefits to appear, we can toggle that section off and it will disappear. But in terms of how you get the content into there, if you're wondering like, why can't I click to actually add the bits? It's because it happens in the pricing sections. I'm going to click and drag to make this a similar height to the block on the left-hand side. And then this would be our sales page. Now, next, let's discuss if someone actually wants to purchase and enroll in your course, what is the sequence of events which happens? Now, in order to get your course to actually sell, the first thing that you need to do is you need to connect your Stripe account. So let me go into the settings. If you're unfamiliar with Stripe, it's basically like the payment processor of the internet. It's the thing which takes the money from your client's or student's bank account and then puts it into your Stripe account and then sends it to your business bank account. If you do / on your keyboard from anywhere in the Squarespace site, you don't need to command anything, just the /, you can type to find something. So I know I need the Stripe settings. There we are. Okay, so what you would want to do is click to connect your Stripe account. I'm not going to do it for this demo tutorial, but do know you would need a Stripe account, you would connect said Stripe account, and then that's when you can actually get people to start purchasing your course. As Squarespace Courses is a new offering from Squarespace, one thing they don't have at the moment, though again, I could see this probably changing in the future, is normally with products on Squarespace, you can do sort of like test checkouts, so that apparently isn't working for courses right now, but again, could change by the time you're watching this. But anyways, so basically I can talk you through the process of what happens, but I can't actually show it to you. So what would happen is someone would go to your sales page and they decide, cool, I wanna do the 4 payments and I'm gonna click the sign up button. Now, because I don't have the Stripe account connected, that's not gonna work for me right now. But what would happen is they would be brought to a Squarespace checkout page. It would ask for their name, it would ask for their email address, and then it would ask for the way that they would like to pay. And when they click the buy now button, what would happen then is they're going to get brought to their sort of receipt page, which then will have a link to click over to the course overview page, which we discussed before. So coming back here, the course overview page is again this one. So it goes on your sales page, click to checkout, does the actual checkout, gets to the sort of receipt page, clicks the button, gets brought to the inside of your actual course, and they are then logged into their account, which exists now on your Squarespace website. From here, they can browse over all of the content inside of your course, and then they can go to actually start the course content. So as I mentioned, this is a brand new feature of Squarespace. They will be building this out to be super robust in the future. I already had some insights into what they're working on for the courses feature, so it is a beautiful starting point, but I do want you to know that there's lots more to come on this one, which is very exciting.